Dr. Lisa Grant rubbed her tired eyes and looked at the computer screen again. The numbers still showed the same impossible reading. She had been working at the Deep Space Monitoring Center in Colorado for 12 years, and she had never seen anything like this before. The energy signature was massive. Whatever was creating it had to be huge, maybe the size of a small moon. But this was not a natural object. The readings showed clear signs of artificial construction, metal, advanced composites, and energy sources that did not match anything in nature. Lisa called her assistant over. "Hey, Mike, can you check these readings for me? I think our equipment might be broken." Mike Johnson walked over and looked at the screen. His face went pale. "Dr. Grant, these numbers are crazy. Are you sure this is real?" "Run the diagnostic again," Lisa said. "Check everything twice." While Mike worked on the diagnostic, Lisa calculated the object's speed and direction. The results made her stomach drop. The unknown objects were moving at nearly the speed of light, but they were slowing down. Their course would bring them directly to Earth in less than 2 weeks. Lisa picked up the red phone on her desk. This was a direct line to Space Defense Command. She had never used it before. "Space Defense Command, this is Commander Jake Morrison speaking." "Commander, this is Dr. Lisa Grant at Deep Space Monitoring. We have detected multiple unknown objects approaching Earth. They appear to be artificial constructs of enormous size." There was silence on the other end. Then Commander Morrison laughed. "Dr. Grant, are you sure you are not seeing space debris or asteroids? We get false alarms all the time." "Sir, I've been doing this job for 12 years. These are not asteroids. The objects are decelerating from near light speed and following a direct intercept course with Earth. I am sending you the data now." Lisa transmitted the readings to Space Defense Command. She could hear Commander Morrison typing on his computer. "Dr. Grant, I will have our team look at this data. But I have to tell you, this seems very unlikely. Are you certain your equipment is working properly? We ran full diagnostics twice. Everything is working perfectly. Commander, you need to contact other observatories. If I am right, they should be seeing the same thing." After Lisa hung up, she called observatories around the world. The facility in Australia confirmed her readings within an hour. Then the European Space Agency called her directly. They had detected the same objects. Dr. Rodriguez from the observatory in Chile was the most worried. "Lisa, I have been tracking these objects for 3 days. I thought our equipment was broken, but now I know it is real. These things are huge. My estimates show each object is at least 50 kilometers long." Lisa felt cold fear creep up her spine. "How many objects total?" "I count at least 300 large vessels, plus thousands of smaller ones. This looks like a fleet, Lisa. A very big fleet." Within 6 hours, observatories on every continent had confirmed the readings. The objects were real, they were artificial, and they were coming to Earth. Commander Morrison called Lisa back. His voice was different now, serious and worried. "Dr. Grant, I owe you an apology. We have confirmed your findings. I am calling an emergency meeting with the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Can you come to Washington immediately?" "I will be on the next flight," Lisa said. While Lisa packed her bags, she kept thinking about what this meant. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. But these visitors were not coming in peace. Nobody sends a fleet of 300 warships for a friendly visit. At the airport, Lisa met Dr. Carol Peterson, an engineer from the Advanced Weapons Research Division. Carol had been called to the same meeting. "Have you seen the latest data?" Carol asked as they boarded the plane. "These ships are massive. Each one could carry millions of troops. Do we have any idea what they want?" Lisa asked. Carol shook her head. "Nothing good. You don't bring that many ships unless you plan to take over the place." During the flight, Lisa studied the data again. The alien fleet was maintaining perfect formation as it approached Earth. The ships were arranged in attack groups, with the largest vessels in the center and smaller ships protecting the flanks. This was definitely a military formation. When they landed in Washington, military vehicles were waiting for them. The city looked normal, but Lisa could see extra security everywhere. Soldiers stood at every important building, and military aircraft flew overhead constantly. At the Pentagon, Lisa was taken to a conference room deep underground. The room was filled with generals, admirals, and government officials. President Helen Carter was sitting at the head of the table. "Dr. Grant," the president said, "please tell us exactly what you have found." Lisa connected her laptop to the main screen and showed her data. "Madam President, we have detected a large fleet of artificial objects approaching Earth. Based on their size, construction, and formation, we believe these are alien warships. They will reach Earth in 13 days. General Amy Rodriguez stood up. "How certain are you that these are warships?" "The formation is clearly military," Lisa replied. "The larger ships are protected by smaller escort vessels. This is not a peaceful exploration mission." Admiral Kyle Bennett asked, "Do we have any idea of their capabilities?" Carol Peterson answered this question. "Based on their size and the energy readings we are detecting, these ships are far more advanced than anything we have. Each large ship appears to have power output greater than all of Earth's power plants combined." The room fell silent. Everyone understood what this meant. Earth was about to be invaded by aliens with technology far beyond human capabilities. President Carter spoke quietly. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest threat humanity has ever faced. We have 13 days to prepare. Dr. Grant, I want you to monitor these ships constantly. Report any changes immediately." "Yes, Madam President." "General Rodriguez, begin mobilizing all military forces. Admiral Bennett, prepare our space assets for combat." As the meeting broke up, Lisa realized that her discovery had changed everything. In less than 2 weeks, humanity would face its first alien contact, and it was going to be a war. Admiral Kyle Bennett stood in the main command center of Space Defense Command, watching the giant screens that showed the approaching alien fleet. 3 days had passed since Dr. Grant's discovery, and the ships were getting closer every hour. "Sir, we have the Deep Space Communication Array ready," reported Lieutenant Sarah Williams. "We can broadcast on all known frequencies." Admiral Bennett nodded. "Send the standard first contact message. Use every language we have in our database." The message was simple and peaceful. It welcomed the visitors to the solar system and offered friendship between their species and humanity. The transmission was broadcast with enough power to reach the alien fleet easily. For 6 hours, there was no response. Then the communications console started beeping. "Admiral, we are receiving a transmission from the alien fleet," Sarah said. Her voice was shaking. "Put on the main speakers." The voice that came through the speakers was cold and mechanical. It spoke in broken English, like a computer that had learned the language badly. "Humans of Earth, your world is now property of the Zorvok Empire. Surrender immediately. Resistance is futile. Compliance is mandatory. You have 72 hours to prepare for occupation." The command center fell completely silent. Admiral Bennett felt his blood turn cold. Did they just... Lieutenant Williams started to say, "Yes," Admiral Bennett replied. "They just told us to surrender our planet." Dr. Grant, who had been monitoring the alien ships, looked up from her station. "Admiral, I am detecting more transmissions between the alien ships. They are not using radio waves. This appears to be some kind of quantum communication system. Can you decode it?" "We are trying, but their technology is very advanced. However, I think I can intercept some of their messages." While Dr. Grant worked on decoding the alien communications, Admiral Bennett called an emergency meeting of the Space Defense Council. General Rodriguez arrived within an hour, along with Secretary of State Paul Turner and several other high-ranking officials. "Gentlemen, ladies," Admiral Bennett began, "the aliens have made their intentions clear. They plan to invade and occupy Earth. They have given us 72 hours to surrender." Secretary Turner looked shocked. "Admiral, surely there must be some misunderstanding. Perhaps we can negotiate with them." "Negotiate what?" General Rodriguez asked angrily. "They told us to surrender our planet. What is there to negotiate?" "We should try diplomatic channels," Turner insisted. "Maybe they will accept some kind of compromise." With respect, Mr. Secretary, Admiral Bennett said, you don't bring 300 warships if you want to negotiate. Dr. Grant interrupted the argument. Admiral, I have been able to decode some of their communications. You need to hear this. She played the intercepted alien messages through the computer's translation program. The mechanical voice spoke again, but this time the words were even more chilling. Resource extraction teams prepare for deployment. Human population to be reduced to manageable numbers. Estimated useful slaves, 50 million. Remainder to be eliminated. Begin atmospheric processing once surface is secured. The room went dead quiet. Everyone understood what they had just heard. The aliens were not just planning to invade Earth. They planned to kill most of humanity and turn the survivors into slaves. General Rodriguez stood up. That settles it. We are at war. We need to mobilize every military asset we have. Secretary Turner still wanted to try diplomacy. General, please consider the consequences. If we fight them and lose, they might kill everyone instead of keeping some humans alive. Mr. Secretary, Admiral Bennett said, they are already planning to kill most of us. Fighting is our only chance. Dr. Grant continued working on the alien communications. What she found next made the situation even worse. Admiral, I have intercepted their strategic communications. This fleet is just the first wave. They have larger fleets coming behind this one. Earth is being used as a test case for their new invasion tactics. A test case? General Rodriguez asked. According to their messages, the Zorvok Empire has conquered over 200 planets using the same strategy. They sent a large fleet to overwhelm the defenders, then strip the planet of resources and enslave the population. Earth is just another target on their list. Admiral Bennett studied the tactical displays showing the alien fleet. The ships were now close enough that telescopes could see their actual shapes. They looked like giant metal spears, dark and threatening against the stars. Dr. Grant, have we learned anything about their weapons or defenses? The energy readings suggest they have very powerful weapons, probably energy-based. Their ships appear to have heavy armor and force fields. Admiral, I have to be honest with you. Based on what we can see, these ships are far more advanced than anything humanity has ever built. General Rodriguez walked over to the tactical display. Admiral, what military assets do we have in space? Not much, General. We have 12 orbital defense platforms, but they were designed to stop asteroids, not warships. We have 47 satellites with limited weapon systems, and we have the Space Defense Corps with their fighter squadrons. How many fighters? 230 operational fighters across all bases. General Rodriguez shook his head. Against 300 alien warships? That is not nearly enough. Secretary Turner tried one more time to push for diplomacy. Gentlemen, we are talking about starting a war with a superior alien force. Should we not at least try to communicate with them again? Dr. Grant looked up from her station. Mr. Secretary, I just intercepted another message. The aliens are laughing about how easy this conquest will be. They think humans are primitive savages who barely know how to use fire. They expect to complete the invasion in less than 6 hours. Admiral Bennett made his decision. General Rodriguez, begin full military mobilization. Secretary Turner, contact our allies and explain the situation. Dr. Grant, keep monitoring their communications. I want to know everything they are planning. As the meeting broke up, Admiral Bennett looked at the tactical display one more time. The alien fleet was still 10 days away, but they were already broadcasting messages demanding Earth surrender. What the aliens did not know was that humanity had secrets. Secrets that might just save the planet. But first, they had to survive the next 10 days. Colonel Danny Walsh walked into the secure briefing room deep beneath the Pentagon. The people sitting around the table had the highest security clearances in the government, but even they did not know what he was about to tell them. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Walsh began, what I am about to show you is classified at the highest level. This information has been kept secret for 50 years. President Carter leaned forward. Colonel, we are facing an alien invasion. If you have something that can help us, we need to know about it now. Colonel Walsh activated the wall display. Images of strange weapons and spacecraft filled the screen. Madam President, I would like to introduce you to Project Blackout. General Rodriguez studied the images. Colonel, what exactly is Project Blackout? General, in 1975, a group of scientists at Los Alamos began working on theoretical weapons based on advanced physics. They believed that humanity would eventually face threats from space. Over the past 50 years, we have developed weapon systems that are far beyond anything the public knows about. Dr. Grant looked at the display with amazement. Colonel, some of these designs appear to manipulate gravity itself. That should be impossible with current technology. Dr. Grant, what the public considers current technology is about 30 years behind what we actually have. May I introduce you to Dr. Carol Peterson? A woman in her 40s stood up from the back of the room. She had been sitting quietly during the previous meetings, but now she stepped forward with confidence. Dr. Peterson is a chief engineer for Project Blackout. Colonel Walsh explained. Carol, please show them what we have built. Dr. Peterson connected her laptop to the display system. New images appeared on the screen, showing weapons that looked like they came from science fiction movies. The first weapon system is a gravitational pulse generator, Dr. Peterson explained. This device creates localized distortions in space-time that can tear apart enemy ships at the molecular level. Admiral Bennett stared at the display. Dr. Peterson, are you telling us that we have weapons that can manipulate gravity? Yes, Admiral. We also have antimatter warheads, quantum disruption fields, and electromagnetic pulse weapons that can shut down any electronic system within a 1,000-kilometer radius. Secretary Turner looked confused. Dr. Peterson, if we have had these weapons for years, why have we kept them secret? Mr. Secretary, these weapons are so powerful that they could destroy entire cities in seconds. We have kept them secret to prevent an arms race that could end human civilization. General Rodriguez asked the important question. Dr. Peterson, are these weapons capable of fighting the alien fleet? General, based on the energy readings Dr. Grant has provided, our weapons should be effective against the alien ships. In fact, I believe our technology might be superior to theirs in some areas. This statement shocked everyone in the room. Dr. Grant spoke first. Dr. Peterson, how is that possible? The alien ships show energy readings far beyond anything I thought humans could build. Dr. Grant, the aliens appear to use brute force technology. Very powerful, but not very efficient. Our weapons are designed to use physics itself as a weapon. We can accomplish the same results with much less energy. Colonel Walsh brought up another display. This is Captain Steve Miller. He commands our orbital weapons platforms. A man in a Space Force uniform stood up. Ladies and gentlemen, we currently have 67 weapons platforms in orbit around Earth. They are disguised as communication satellites and space telescopes. President Carter looked surprised. Captain, I thought we only had 12 orbital defense platforms. Madam President, those are the ones the public knows about. The hidden platforms are equipped with gravitational pulse weapons, antimatter missiles, and quantum disruption generators. Dr. Peterson continued the briefing. We also have a fleet of advanced fighters that use anti-gravity propulsion systems. These fighters can accelerate at speeds that would kill normal pilots, but we have developed artificial gravity systems that protect the crew. General Rodriguez studied the technical specifications. Dr. Peterson, how many of these advanced fighters do we have? 840 operational fighters, plus 200 more. That will be ready within a week. Admiral Bennett did some quick calculations. That gives us over 1,000 advanced fighters against their fleet, but they still outnumber us. Colonel Walsh smiled for the first time during the briefing. Admiral, numbers are not everything. Our fighters are equipped with weapons that can destroy ships 100 times their size. One of our fighters can take out an entire alien battleship. Dr. Grant asked another important question. Colonel, if we have had this technology for 50 years, have we ever tested it? Dr. Grant, we have been testing these weapons in space for decades. We have destroyed asteroids, disabled old satellites, and tested the weapons against targets made from the strongest materials on Earth. These weapons work. President Carter looked at the assembled group. Colonel Walsh, Why was I never told about this project? Madam President, every president has been briefed on Project Blackout, but only when humanity faced a real threat from space. This is the first time we have needed to use these weapons. Dr. Peterson brought up a new display showing the battle plan. The strategy is simple. We let the aliens think Earth is defenseless. When they get close enough, we activate all weapon systems simultaneously. By the time they realize what is happening, it will be too late for them to retreat. Captain Miller added more details. The alien fleet is approaching Earth in a standard invasion formation. They expect minimal resistance from primitive human weapons. They have no idea what they are flying into. General Rodriguez looked at the timeline. When do we activate the weapons? Colonel Walsh answered, General, we wait until the alien fleet is committed to the attack. Once they begin deploying landing forces, we strike with everything we have. The goal is complete destruction of the invasion fleet. Admiral Bennett studied the technical data. Dr. Peterson, what are our chances of success? Admiral, if our intelligence about the alien ships is correct, I estimate a 90% chance of destroying the entire fleet. The remaining 10% depends on whether they have weapons or defenses we have not detected. Dr. Grant looked worried. What if there are more fleets coming behind this one? Colonel Walsh brought up another display. Dr. Grant, we have been monitoring deep space for other alien fleets. So far, this appears to be the only force approaching Earth. However, we are prepared for additional threats. How prepared? We have weapons platforms positioned throughout the solar system. If more alien fleets arrive, they will face the same fate as this one. President Carter made her decision. Colonel Walsh, you have authorization to activate Project Blackout. Do whatever is necessary to protect Earth. Yes, Madam President. As the meeting ended, Colonel Walsh felt confident about humanity's chances. The aliens thought they were attacking a primitive planet with simple weapons. They were about to learn that humanity had been preparing for this war for 50 years. General Amy Rodriguez stood in the main command center, watching as military forces around the world moved into position. The alien fleet was now only 3 days away from Earth, and humanity was preparing for the greatest battle in its history. General, we have confirmation from all allied nations, reported Major Kelly Barnes, who had just arrived from the Air Force's Advanced Fighter Squadron. Every country with military satellites has agreed to coordinate the attack. Good, General Rodriguez replied. Major Barnes, what is the status of your fighter squadrons? All 840 advanced fighters are operational and ready for combat. The pilots have been briefed on the new weapon systems and are prepared for battle. The new fighters were unlike anything the world had ever seen. They used anti-gravity propulsion that allowed them to move in ways that seemed impossible. The pilots could accelerate at incredible speeds without feeling any force, thanks to the artificial gravity systems inside the cockpits. Captain Rick Davis walked over from the Naval Command Station. General, our submarine fleet is in position. We have 60 submarines equipped with space-capable antimatter torpedoes positioned around the globe. This was one of the most secret parts of the defense plan. The submarines could launch torpedoes that would leave Earth's atmosphere and strike targets in space. The antimatter warheads were powerful enough to destroy the largest alien ships with a single hit. Dr. Grant looked up from her monitoring station. General, the alien fleet has begun to change formation. They are separating into attack groups. Show me, General Rodriguez said. The main display showed the alien fleet spreading out as it approached Earth. The largest ships remained in the center, but smaller groups were moving to surround the planet. This is a standard invasion pattern, Captain Davis observed. They plan to attack from multiple directions simultaneously. Major Barnes studied the formation. General, this actually works in our favor. By spreading out, they have made themselves easier targets for our fighters. Dr. Peterson, who had been working on final preparations for the weapon systems, joined the group. General, all orbital platforms are ready. The gravitational pulse weapons are charged and waiting. Dr. Peterson, how long do we have before the aliens detect our hidden weapons? The platforms are still disguised as normal satellites. As long as we do not power up the weapons, the aliens should not notice anything unusual. Captain Steve Miller reported from the Space Command Station. General, our deep space monitoring shows that the aliens are scanning Earth with some kind of sensor system, but they appear to be looking for military installations, not hidden satellites. What are they finding? Exactly what we want them to find. They can see our conventional military bases, the 12 known orbital platforms, and our regular fighter squadrons. They have no idea about our real capabilities. Dr. Grant had been monitoring alien communications constantly. General, I have more intercepted messages from the alien fleet. They are very confident about this attack. Their commanders are discussing how quickly they can complete the conquests. What are they saying? They expect to destroy all human resistance within 6 hours. They think our weapons are too primitive to damage their ships. They are planning to land troops on every continent simultaneously. General Rodriguez smiled grimly. Let them think that. The more confident they are, the better this will work. The strategy was simple but required perfect timing. Humanity would appear to offer only token resistance as the aliens approached. The conventional military forces would fire a few missiles and fighters, making it look like Earth was trying to fend itself with primitive weapons. This would convince the aliens that they faced no real threat. Only when the alien fleet was fully committed to the attack would humanity reveal its true capabilities. By then, it would be too late for the aliens to retreat. Major Barnes received a message on her communication device. General, all fighter squadrons report ready. The pilots are eager to begin the attack. Tell them to wait for my order. Timing is critical for this plan to work. Captain Davis checked his status board. General, submarine fleet reports all antimatter torpedoes are armed and ready. We can fire on your command. The antimatter torpedoes were one of humanity's most powerful weapons. Each torpedo carried enough antimatter to destroy a city, but they would be used against the alien ships instead. The submarines could fire from underwater and guide the torpedoes into space using quantum communication systems. Dr. Peterson brought up the orbital weapons display. General, we confirmed targeting data for all alien ships. The gravitational pulse weapons can destroy multiple targets simultaneously. How many ships can we destroy in the first strike? If everything works perfectly, we should be able to destroy about 60% of the alien fleet in the opening attack. The remaining ships will be damaged and confused, making them easy targets for fighters and submarines. Dr. Grant reported more alien communications. General, the aliens are beginning their final approach. They will reach Earth's orbital space in 72 hours. That gives us 3 days to make final preparations, General Rodriguez said. Dr. Peterson, I want all weapon systems tested one more time. Yes, General. Captain Miller updated the tactical display. General, we are tracking the alien approach vectors. They will attack Earth from 6 different directions, just as we predicted. Perfect. That means our orbital platforms will have clear shots at all their formations. Major Barnes asked an important question. General, what about civilian populations? Should we evacuate the major cities? Major. Evacuating the cities would alert the aliens that we are preparing for battle. We have to maintain the illusion that Earth is unprepared for this attack. But, General, if something goes wrong with our plan, millions of people could die. General Rodriguez understood the Major's concern. Major, if our plan fails, billions of people will die anyway. This is our only chance to stop the invasion. Dr. Grant interrupted with urgent news. General, the aliens are sending a final surrender demand. They want an answer within 24 hours. What will you tell them? General Rodriguez thought for a moment. Dr. Grant, send a message to the alien fleet. Tell them that Earth's governments are discussing their demands and need more time to coordinate a response. That should buy us the time we need, Captain Davis agreed. Dr. Peterson finished the final weapons check. General, all systems are operating perfectly. We are ready for battle. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, in 72 hours we will either save humanity or die trying. Make sure everyone understands what is at stake. As the command staff dispersed to their stations, General Rodriguez looked at the tactical display one more time. The alien fleet was massive and powerful, but they were flying into a trap that had been 50 years in the making. Soon, the aliens would learn that humanity was not the primitive species they expected to find. The trap was set, and Earth was ready for war. The alien fleet had arrived. Dr. Grant watched her screens as 300 massive warships took positions around Earth. The largest ships were 50 kilometers long, bristling with weapons that could destroy entire cities. Smaller escort vessels swarmed around them like angry insects. General Rodriguez, the aliens are beginning to deploy landing craft, Dr. Grant reported. I count over 2,000 small ships leaving the main fleet. General Rodriguez stood at the command center, watching the tactical display. This was the moment humanity had been preparing for. All stations, this is General Rodriguez. Execute Operation Thunderstrike. I repeat, execute Operation Thunderstrike. Captain Steve Miller was the first to act. From his orbital command station, he activated the hidden weapons platforms that had been disguised as satellites for decades. Orbital weapons online. Gravitational pulse generators charging. Around Earth, 67 satellite-like objects suddenly revealed their true nature. Panels opened to expose massive energy weapons. Power systems that had been dormant for years came online, drawing energy from hidden nuclear reactors. Targets acquired, Captain Miller announced. Firing gravitational pulse weapons. The weapons were invisible to the naked eye, but their effects were devastating. Pulses of twisted space-time struck the alien ships, tearing apart their molecular structure. The first wave of pulse weapons hit 12 of the largest alien vessels simultaneously. The alien ships simply came apart. Their hulls cracked and split as the gravitational forces pulled them in different directions. Atmosphere and debris poured out into space as the massive warships broke into pieces. Direct hits on primary targets, Captain Miller reported. 12 enemy battleships destroyed. In the alien fleet, confusion spread rapidly. The aliens had detected no weapons charging, no missile launches, nothing that would indicate an attack. Yet their most powerful ships were being destroyed by some invisible force. Major Kelly Barnes led the fighter attack from her advanced combat aircraft. Fighter squadrons, this is Major Barnes, engage the enemy fleet. Show them what human pilots can do. 840 advanced fighters suddenly appeared on alien sensors as they dropped their stealth systems. The fighters moved with impossible agility, accelerating and turning in ways that defied conventional physics. Barnes to all fighters, target the escort vessels. Use antimatter missiles on anything bigger than cruiser. The human fighters swarmed through the alien formation like deadly wasps. Their antimatter missiles struck alien ships and created brilliant explosions that could be seen from Earth. Each missile carried enough destructive power to vaporize a mountain. The aliens tried to return fire, but their weapons could not track the human fighters. The advanced propulsion systems allowed the fighters to change direction instantly, making them nearly impossible to hit. This is Red Squadron Leader, reported Lieutenant Tony Garcia. We had destroyed 15 enemy escort ships. No losses on our side. Captain Rick Davis commanded the submarine fleet from his position beneath the Pacific Ocean. All submarines, prepare to fire antimatter torpedoes. Target the remaining battleships. 60 submarines around the world fired their space-capable torpedoes simultaneously. The weapons broke through the ocean's surface and accelerated toward the alien fleet using advanced propulsion systems. Torpedoes away, Captain Davis announced. Impact in 90 seconds. The antimatter torpedoes struck the alien ships with devastating force. Each torpedo created an explosion equal to a nuclear weapon, but without the radiation. Alien battleships that had survived the gravitational pulse attack were torn apart by the antimatter blasts. Dr. Grant monitored the battle from her station. General, alien communications are in chaos. They are trying to understand how we developed such advanced weapons. What are they saying? They keep asking how a primitive species could have technology superior to theirs. Their fleet commanders are panicking. The alien fleet tried to reorganize, but the human attack was too coordinated and too powerful. Captain Miller continued firing the orbital weapons, destroying alien ships faster than they could respond. Gravitational pulse weapons recharging, Captain Miller reported, preparing for second wave attack. Major Barnes and her fighters pressed their advantage. The human pilots had trained for years with the advanced aircraft, and they flew with skill that amazed even themselves. Barnes to General Rodriguez, we have destroyed over 100 alien ships. The enemy formation is breaking apart. Some alien ships tried to retreat, but they found their escape routes blocked. The human fighters had positioned themselves to prevent any aliens from leaving the battle area. Blue Squadron leader to all fighters, called Commander Pete Johnson. The aliens are trying to run. Do not let any ship escape. The antimatter torpedoes from the submarines continue to find their targets. Captain Davis coordinated the attack with deadly precision. Submarine fleet reports 80% hit rate on primary targets, Captain Davis announced. Enemy fleet strength reduced by 60%. Dr. Peterson monitored the weapon systems from her engineering station. General, all weapon performing within expected parameters. We have lost only 3 fighters, and no other systems have been damaged. The battle was turning into a complete rout. The alien fleet that had come to conquer Earth was being systematically destroyed by weapons they never knew existed. General, Dr. Grant called out, I am intercepting desperate messages from the alien fleet. They are calling for reinforcements and trying to warn their empire about our capabilities. Are they getting through? I do not think so. Captain Miller's quantum disruption field is blocking most of their communications. Captain Miller confirmed this. General, we are jamming all alien communications. Any messages they try to send are being scrambled by our disruption field. The aliens made one final desperate attempt to strike back. The surviving ships concentrated their fire on Earth's surface, trying to destroy human cities before they were all killed. But humanity had prepared for this possibility too. Captain Miller activated Earth's planetary defense shield, a massive electromagnetic field generated from installations hidden around the globe. The alien weapons' fire struck the shield and was reflected back at their own ships. The aliens found themselves being destroyed by their own weapons. Planetary shield operating at full power, Captain Miller reported. All alien weapons' fire has been deflected. Major Barnes led the final assault on the remaining alien ships. All fighters, concentrate fire on the command ships. End this battle. The last alien vessels were destroyed within minutes. Major Barnes and her pilots showed no mercy as they hunted down every remaining enemy ship. General Rodriguez, this is Major Barnes. All enemy vessels have been destroyed. The alien fleet has been completely eliminated. The command center erupted in cheers. Humanity had faced its greatest threat and emerged victorious. The battle that was supposed to last 6 hours had ended in less than 3 hours, with complete human victory. Dr. Grant looked at her screens in amazement. General, the alien fleet is gone. Every single ship has been destroyed. General Rodriguez allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. Ladies and gentlemen, humanity has won its first interstellar war. But the war was not over yet. The aliens had come from somewhere, and others might follow. In the wreckage of what had been a mighty invasion fleet, a single alien ship remained. The command vessel of Fleet Admiral Zextac was heavily damaged, its hull cracked and bleeding atmosphere into space. Most of its crew was dead, but the Admiral himself still lived. Dr. Grant intercepted the alien's final transmission as it broadcast on all frequencies. The mechanical translation system converted the alien's words into broken English. Human forces, this is Fleet Admiral Zextac of the Zorvok Empire. How is this possible? Our intelligence showed your species had barely discovered spaceflight. Your weapons technology should be centuries behind ours. General Rodriguez decided to respond personally. She had Dr. Grant open a communication channel to the dying alien ship. Admiral Zextac, this is General Amy Rodriguez of Earth Defense Command. Your intelligence was wrong. Humanity has been preparing for this day for 50 years. Impossible, the alien replied. Our scouts surveyed your planet only 20 years ago. You had primitive chemical rockets and simple electronic computers. How did you develop such advanced weapons? Dr. Peterson stepped forward to explain. Admiral, while your empire was conquering primitive worlds, humanity was developing technologies you never imagined. We learned to weaponize the fundamental forces of the universe itself. The gravitational weapons, The alien said with what sounded like fear. No species in the galaxy has mastered gravity manipulation. The Zorvok Empire has conquered 200 worlds, and none possess such technology. Colonel Walsh joined the conversation. Admiral, that is because you have only fought species that reacted to your threats. Humanity prepared for threats that did not yet exist. Admiral Zextak's ship drifted helplessly through the debris field that had once been his fleet. You let us believe we faced no resistance. Why did you not warn us of your capabilities? Would you have listened? General Rodriguez asked. Or would you have simply brought a larger fleet? The alien was silent for a moment. Then he spoke again, and his voice carried a note of genuine fear. General Rodriguez, you do not understand what you have done. The Zorvok Empire has thousands of fleets. When they learn of this defeat, they will send armadas that will blot out your sun. Admiral, Dr. Grant interrupted, we have studied your communications during the battle. We know about your empire's structure and capabilities. Then you know that this fleet was only a reconnaissance force. The main battle fleets are 100 times larger than what you just destroyed. Colonel Walsh activated a new display, showing deep space monitoring data. Admiral, we have been tracking your empire's movements for decades. We know where your main fleets are located. This statement shocked the alien admiral. That is impossible. Our ships use quantum encryption and dimensional communication systems. Admiral, Dr. Peterson explained, we cracked your quantum encryption 15 years ago. We have been monitoring your empire's communications and tracking your fleets throughout the galaxy. Admiral Zextak's ship shuddered as another hull breach opened. The alien was dying, but he continued to broadcast. If you have been watching us, then you know the power of the Zorvok Empire. We have conquered entire star systems. Our battle fleets have destroyed planets that resisted us. Yes, we know, General Rodriguez replied. We also know that your empire has a fatal weakness. What weakness? Colonel Walsh answered. Arrogance, Admiral. Your empire has grown powerful by conquering primitive species. You have forgotten how to fight an enemy that can match your technology. That cannot be. The Zorvok Empire has the most advanced technology in the galaxy. Dr. Peterson laughed. Admiral, your technology is impressive, but relies on brute force. You build bigger ships and more powerful weapons, but you never learn to use physics itself as a weapon. The gravitational pulse weapons. The alien said quietly, that is just the beginning. Dr. Peterson continued. We have weapons that can manipulate time, weapons that can tear holes in space, and weapons that can turn a star into a bomb. Admiral Zextak was quiet for a long time. Finally, he spoke again. Human General, I must ask you something. Why did you develop such terrible weapons? Because we knew that someday someone like you would come, General Rodriguez answered. Humanity has spent its entire history fighting wars. We learned long ago that the best way to survive is to be more dangerous than anything that threatens us. Your species is young. How could you develop technology superior to empires that are millions of years old? Admiral, Dr. Grant explained, age does not guarantee wisdom. Your empire became comfortable conquering weak opponents. Humanity never had that luxury. We have always faced threats that could destroy us, so we learned to build weapons that could destroy anything. The alien ship's power systems were failing. Admiral Zextak's voice became weaker as his life support system shut down. General Rodriguez, I have one final request. Please allow me to send a warning to my empire. Tell them what happened here. Admiral, why would we allow you to warn them? Because, the alien said, if you do not warn them, they will send their main battle fleets to avenge this defeat. Those fleets carry planet-killing weapons. They will destroy Earth rather than risk another defeat. Colonel Walsh considered this. Admiral, what makes you think a warning will stop them? General, if my empire learns that Earth has weapons capable of destroying our fleets, they may decide to avoid your system entirely. The Zorvok Empire prefers easy conquests. General Rodriguez made a decision. Admiral, we will allow you to send your warning. But understand this. If your empire sends more fleets to attack Earth, we will not simply defend ourselves. We will hunt down every Zorvok ship in the galaxy and destroy them all. You would declare war on the entire empire? Admiral, your empire declared war on us when you came here to enslave our people. We are simply finishing what you started. Dr. Grant activated the communication systems. Admiral, you may send your message now. Admiral Zextak transmitted his final report to the Zorvok Empire. He described complete destruction of his fleet and warned that Earth possessed weapons technology far beyond anything the Empire had encountered. As the transmission ended, the alien ship's power finally failed. Admiral Zextak died in the wreckage of his command vessel, the last survivor of a fleet that had come to conquer Earth. General, Dr. Grant said, the alien's warning transmission has been sent. His empire will know what happened here. Good. General Rodriguez replied. Now they will have to decide if Earth is worth the risk of losing more fleets. Colonel Walsh studied the tactical displays. General, based on our intelligence about the Zorvok Empire, they will probably send scouts to verify the Admiral's report. Let them come, General Rodriguez said. We will be ready. The first battle was over, but the war might just be beginning. 3 days after the destruction of the alien fleet, Dr. Grant detected new signals from deep space. Her face went pale as she studied the readings. General Rodriguez, we have a problem. The aliens sent a second fleet before they were destroyed. It is much larger than the first one. General Rodriguez rushed to Dr. Grant's station. How much larger? 800 ships, including vessels twice the size of anything in the first fleet. They will arrive in 6 hours. The command center fell silent. Everyone realized that the first battle had been just a test. Now the real invasion was beginning. Colonel Walsh activated the emergency protocols. All defense systems to maximum alert. This time they know what we are capable of. Captain Miller checked the orbital weapon status. General, our platforms are recharged and ready. But 800 ships is a lot more than we faced before. Major Barnes reported from the fighter squadrons. General, all pilots are ready for another battle. We have learned from the first engagement and improved our tactics. Captain Davis confirmed submarine readiness. General, we have reloaded all antimatter torpedoes. The submarine fleet is prepared for combat. Dr. Peterson studied the approaching alien fleet through the deep space telescopes. General, these ships are different from the first fleet. They have heavier armor and more powerful weapons. They also appear to have some kind of energy shields. Can our weapons penetrate their shields? Unknown, General. We will not know until we try. 6 hours later, the second alien fleet arrived. But this time, they did not approach Earth slowly. The alien ships came out of faster-than-light travel, already in attack formation. General, Dr. Grant called out, the aliens are not bothering with surrender demands. They are heading straight for Earth at maximum speed. All weapon systems, prepare for immediate combat, General Rodriguez ordered. The alien fleet split into multiple attack groups, just as intelligence had predicted. But this time, they had learned from the first battle. The alien ships stayed far apart to avoid being destroyed by single weapons. Captain Miller fired the first salvo from the orbital platforms. Gravitational pulse weapons firing. The invisible weapons struck the alien ships, but the results were different this time. The alien shields absorbed much of the damage, and only a few ships were destroyed in the opening attack. Minimal effect on target, Captain Miller reported. Their shields are protecting them. The aliens immediately returned fire. Massive energy beams struck Earth orbital platforms, destroying several of them in brilliant explosions. We have lost 12 orbital platforms, Captain Miller announced. Remaining weapons continuing to fire. Major Barnes led the fighter attack, but the alien escort ships were ready this time. The sky filled with energy weapons fire as human fighters clashed with alien defenders. Barnes to all squadrons, stay mobile. Do not let them lock onto you with their targeting systems. Lieutenant Garcia's fighter was hit by an alien energy beam. His ship's shields held, but barely. Major, their weapons are much more powerful than the first fleet. We are taking heavy damage. Captain Davis fired the submarine-launched antimatter torpedoes, but the alien fleet had spread out too much. Only half of the torpedoes found targets. Torpedo strike partially successful, Captain Davis reported. We destroyed 26 enemy ships, but the rest are still advancing. Dr. Grant monitored the battle from her station. General, the alien fleet is pushing through our defenses. They are heading for Earth's surface. Activate the planetary defense shield, General Rodriguez ordered. Captain Miller tried to bring the shield online, but alien weapons fire was disrupting the generators. General, the shield generators are being targeted. We can only maintain partial coverage. Some alien ships broke through the defense grid and began firing on Earth cities. Massive energy beams struck New York, London, and Tokyo. Buildings vaporized instantly as the alien weapon struck. General, we are losing cities, Dr. Grant reported with horror in her voice. General Rodriguez made a desperate decision. All units, fall back to final defensive positions. Activate the Omega Protocol. Colonel Walsh looked shocked. General, the Omega Protocol has never been tested at full scale. We have no choice. Activate it now. Dr. Peterson began the activation sequence for humanity's most secret weapon. Deep beneath major cities around the world, massive installations that had been built in absolute secrecy began to power up. Omega Protocol activating, Dr. Peterson announced. Planetary defense grid coming online. The installations were not just weapons. They were designed to turn Earth itself into a weapon. Massive electromagnetic field generators created a planet-wide defense system that could reflect any energy attack back at its source. As the alien weapons continued to fire on Earth's surface, something impossible happened. The energy beam struck the planetary defense field and bounced back toward the alien ships. What is happening? The alien fleet commander broadcast in confusion. The reflected energy strikes hit the alien ships with their own weapons' power. Ships that had been firing on Earth suddenly found themselves being destroyed by their own attacks. Planetary defense field operational, Dr. Peterson reported. All enemy weapons fire is being reflected back at their fleet. Captain Miller coordinated the counterattack. All remaining orbital platforms, concentrate fire on the alien command ships. Major Barnes led her fighters in a final assault. All squadrons. The aliens are confused and disorganized. Press the attack. The combination of reflected weapons fire and coordinated human attacks proved devastating. The alien fleet, which had seemed unstoppable minutes before, began to fall apart. Barnes to General Rodriguez. Enemy fleet is in full retreat, pursuing to ensure complete destruction. Captain Davis launched a final wave of antimatter torpedoes. Submarine fleet firing all remaining weapons. Target the retreating ships. Dr. Grant monitored alien communications as their fleet disintegrated. General, the alien commanders try and call for evacuation, but their ships are being destroyed too quickly. Within 2 hours, the second alien fleet was completely destroyed. Not a single alien ship escaped to carry word of the defeat back to their empire. General Rodriguez, this is Major Barnes. All enemy vessels have been eliminated. Earth is secure. The command center erupted in celebration, but General Rodriguez remained focused. Dr. Grant, any sign of additional alien fleets? No, General. Deep space is clear, but I am detecting something else. What? The alien ships were equipped with some kind of automatic beacon system. It has been broadcasting our location to other parts of their empire throughout both battles. Colonel Walsh understood the implications immediately. General, that means the entire Zorvok Empire now knows where Earth is located. It also means they know we destroyed 2 of their fleets, Dr. Peterson added. General Rodriguez looked at the tactical displays, showing the debris from both alien fleets. Earth had won 2 decisive victories, but the war was far from over. Ladies and gentlemen, we have proven that humanity can defend itself against alien invasion. Now we need to decide what to do next. The question was whether to wait for the next attack, or take the fight to the aliens first. President Helen Carter stood before the cameras in the White House briefing room. Behind her, the screen showed images of the destroyed alien fleets burning up in Earth's atmosphere like meteors. The whole world was watching as she prepared to address humanity's first victory in an interstellar war. My fellow humans, President Carter began, Today marks a turning point in our species' history. We have faced our greatest challenge and emerged victorious. The alien fleets that came to conquer our world have been completely destroyed. Around the world, people celebrated in the streets, but in the command centers and military installations, a different conversation was taking place. Dr. Grant had spent the past week analyzing the alien technology recovered from the wreckage. What she found changed everything. "General Rodriguez, you need to see this," Dr. Grant said, showing her analysis on the main display. The alien ships contain detailed star maps and communication logs. The Zorvok Empire controls over 300 star systems. How many ships does that represent? Based on their military records, approximately 50,000 warships of various sizes. The fleets we destroyed were just a tiny fraction of their total forces. Colonel Walsh studied the alien star maps. "Dr. Grant, these maps show the locations of conquered planets. According to this data, the Zorvok Empire has enslaved billions of intelligent beings." "That is correct, Colonel. They have been expanding across the galaxy for over 2 million years. General Rodriguez asked a critical question. "Dr. Grant, what happens when the Empire realizes we destroyed their fleets?" "Based on their communication patterns, they will likely send larger fleets to investigate. When those fleets do not return, they will send even larger ones." Dr. Peterson had been studying the alien communication technology. "General, I believe we have a better option. We can use their own communication systems to send a message directly to their empire." "What kind of message?" "A warning. We show them exactly what happened to their fleets and make it clear that any future attacks will result in the same outcome." Colonel Walsh brought up tactical displays, showing the scope of the Zorvok Empire. "General, this empire has conquered hundreds of civilizations. They are not going to be scared away by a simple warning." "Then we send a different kind of message," General Rodriguez said. "Dr. Peterson, can we use their communication system to broadcast our weapons test data?" "Yes, General. We can show them technical specifications for our gravitational weapons, antimatter systems, and planetary defense grid." Dr. Grant understood the strategy immediately. "General, if we show them our weapons technology, they will realize that Earth is not just another primitive planet to be conquered." "Exactly. We make it clear that attacking Earth will cost them more than they can afford to lose." President Carter joined the meeting via secure video link. "General Rodriguez, what are you proposing?" "Madam President, we propose to send a comprehensive message to the Zorvok Empire. We show them the destruction of their fleets, demonstrate our weapons capabilities, and make it clear that Earth is prepared to defend itself against any threat. Do you think that will stop them from sending more fleets?" Colonel Walsh answered, "Madam President, empires like this one are fundamentally practical. They conquer planets that offer profit with minimal risk. If we make it clear that attacking Earth will result in massive losses, they may decide to find easier targets." Dr. Peterson had prepared the message content. "Madam President, we have compiled battle footage showing the complete destruction of both alien fleets. We also have technical data proving that our weapons are superior to theirs in several key areas. What if this message makes them even more determined to conquer us?" "Then we prepare for a larger war," General Rodriguez said. "Madam President, the alien empire knows where Earth is located. They will eventually send more fleets, whether we send this message or not. At least this way, we control the narrative." President Carter made her decision. "General, you have authorization to send the message. But I want you to make one thing absolutely clear. Earth is not looking for a war, but we are prepared for one." Dr. Peterson began preparing the transmission using the alien communication technology. The message would be broadcast using quantum entanglement principles, reaching every part of the Zorvok Empire instantly. "Dr. Peterson, what exactly will you tell them?" President Carter asked. "Madam President, the message will have 3 parts. First, we show complete video records of both battles, demonstrating the total destruction of their invasion fleets. Second, we provide technical specifications for our weapon systems, proving that Earth has military technology equal to or superior to theirs. Third, we deliver a simple ultimatum. leave Earth alone, or face the consequences. Colonel Walsh added a crucial element. Madam President, we are also including data about our deep space monitoring capabilities. We want them to know that we have been tracking their empire's movements for decades. Why is that important? Because it proves that Earth is not a primitive planet that stumbled onto advanced technology. We have been systematically preparing for interstellar conflict for 50 years. Dr. Grant had analyzed the psychological profiles of various alien species in the Empire's records. Madam President, the Zorvok leadership values strength above all else. This message will establish Earth as a peer power, not a conquest target. The transmission was ready. Dr. Peterson activated the alien communication system and broadcast humanity's message to every star system controlled by the Zorvok Empire. The message was simple but devastating. It showed the alien fleets being torn apart by weapons they never saw coming. It demonstrated technology that manipulated the fundamental forces of a universe. And it made one thing perfectly clear. Earth was not afraid of the Zorvok Empire. Message transmitted, Dr. Peterson announced. It will reach every part of their empire within minutes. Now we wait, General Rodriguez said. Dr. Grant monitored deep space for any response. Within hours, intercepted communications from the Empire showed that the message had been received and was causing panic in their military leadership. General, I am detecting massive communications traffic throughout the Zorvok Empire. Their military commanders are arguing about how to respond to our message. What are they saying? Most of them are advocating for avoiding Earth entirely. The loss of 2 fleets without causing any significant damage to our forces has shocked their leadership. Colonel Walsh studied the communication intercepts. Dr. Grant, are there any voices calling for immediate retaliation? Some, but they appear to be in the minority. The dominant opinion seems to be that Earth represents an unacceptable risk for minimal gain. President Carter addressed the nation again that evening. The message we sent today was not a threat. It was a statement of fact. Earth would defend itself against any aggressor, no matter how powerful. But we also offer the possibility of peace for those who respect our sovereignty. Over the following weeks, Dr. Grant tracked the movements of Zorvok Empire fleets throughout the galaxy. Several large fleets that had been moving toward Earth's sector changed course and headed for different targets. General, it appears our message was effective, Dr. Grant reported. The Empire is avoiding our region of space. What about other alien civilizations? Are they receiving our message too? Yes, General. The quantum communication system broadcasts our message throughout the galaxy. Other species are learning that Earth successfully defeated the Zorvok Empire. Colonel Walsh brought up an interesting development. General, we are receiving communication attempts from other alien civilizations. Some appear to be offering alliances against the Zorvok Empire. What kind of alliances? Military cooperation, technology sharing, mutual defense agreements. It seems that our victory has inspired other species to consider resisting the Empire. Dr. Peterson made an important observation. General, we may have inadvertently started a galactic rebellion against the Zorvok Empire. Is that good or bad for Earth? Probably good, General. If other species join together to fight the Empire, they will be too busy to threaten Earth. General Rodriguez looked at the galactic map, showing the positions of various alien fleets and civilizations. Earth had gone from being an unknown planet on the edge of the galaxy to being a major power that other species either feared or wanted as an ally. Ladies and gentlemen, General Rodriguez said, I think we have successfully established Earth's position in galactic politics. We are no longer a target for conquest. We are a force to be respected. President Carter smiled as she read the final reports. Humanity had faced its greatest test and not only survived, but emerged as a galactic power. The message was clear to every civilization in the galaxy. Earth was not to be underestimated. The age of human space power had begun.